As the end of the year draws near, we get closer and closer to the April 21st release for Fatal Fury Seed of the Wolves, and believe it or not, a lot of hype has been surrounding this game more and more with each passing day, week, and month. And as we all know, no one wants this game to survive and do great as much as I do, and the success hinges on how SNK handles this game from the launch on forward. But there is someone they could look towards for some answers. Capcom has the cheat code SNK should follow, and that cheat code has been staring us in the face the entire time, and that cheat code name is Okay, I already know a lot of hardcore SNK fans are not going to be happy about that statement and the title of this video, but before you start to raise your fight sticks in anger, just hear me out. It's no secret that Street Fighter 6 has been doing extremely well for itself in the year of its release and onwards. Concurrent counts of players has been high and steady, tournaments are exciting, and the biggest example being Punk the God's win at EVO, as well as commercial collaborations with IPs like Spy Family, Baki, TMNT, and plenty more coming in the future. Man, at the time of this video, Capcom has sold 3.3 million copies of Street Fighter 6 and probably more by the time I finish saying what I just said.
Motherfucker, goddamn!
So sit back, relax, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tap the bell icon to be notified for more as we get ready and go into what Fatal Fury should copy or improve on from Street Fighter 6. Let's get to it. When you turn on the game, or any game regardless of the genre, what's the first thing you notice? The graphics. Hell, even before you buy the game and see the trailers for it, the initial response you get comes from how good it looks. Is it ugly? Does it have a nice art style? Is it visually appealing? These are the things that are, for better or worse, integral for a fighting game. Sure, a fighter could be fun gameplay wise, like let's say Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but it's no secret the game is lacking visually. No disrespect, I like MVCI.
I meant no disrespect.
Look at Street Fighter 6. Capcom abandoned the Street Fighter 5 forward cartoony look and went with a realistic approach. Granted, it ain't super realistic like a DMC 5 or the Resident Evil remakes, but it's enough to tick the box of looking pretty to look at. Luckily for SNK fans, Seed of the Wolves seems to not have that issue. In fact, it's the opposite. You're seeing people compliment the game heavily on how great the game looks, it's just not from a graphical point, but more specifically its art style. What the new Fatal Fury lacks in hyper-realism it makes up for in style. The comic book style that everyone is attributing to it has definitely won over folks, unlike KO 15, which, as good as it looked compared to 14, definitely lacked in having that that sauce, you know what I mean? This was clearly taken to heart by SNK, and they put their best foot forward with really making an effort to make Seed of the Wolves distinct. As cool as Street Fighter 6 looks, what I personally like about the new Fatal Fury is it looks like a video game. Let me explain. It almost harkens back to the old games from the 90s where they had distinct styles to them that you could instantly recognize. SNK of course had this with their titles and especially with GAROU. Now this latest installment, they've done it again. Next up is a topic that has been a thorn in the side of SNK games for quite some time, from KOF 14, SNK Heroines, Samurai Showdown 2019, and KOF 15. That being online. First, let me start by saying this. On launch, KOF 15 was shaky with its online, but it was rectified down the line, and SNK even added crossplay. Yes, you heard me right. KOF 15 has crossplay. So if you haven't bought the game because of that reason, go check it out. It's great. But by then the damage was already done, and it is what it is now. Street Fighter 6 online, from my own experience, has been great. Of course, you'll come across players with horrendous connections, having them teleporting around you like they're Barry Allen or Wally West trapped in the Speed Force, but again, overall, a good time. Having a functional online experience is what truly determines the life expectancy of a game. Having quick rematches and matchmaking makes the action seamless, where you aren't even waiting long to get back into the fight. And that's something Street Fighter 6 does well. It doesn't give you time to mull over what just happened from the last match. Before you can type out that angry tweet, you're already starting the next fight. And with Great Online comes things like player lobbies that to me are sometimes overlooked or a second thought. Again and again, I'll bring up KO 14's lobbies being the best ever, but Street Fighter 6 lobbies aren't too shabby either. Different sections for people to queue up in, varying options of what style you want to do, along with team fights. Having to wait for a match to end with a long line in front of you can dampen your drive to play. Looking at you, KO 14 lobbies. Gameplay. Whenever this topic is brought up about a fighting game, what phrases do you always hear people bring up? Player expression, individuality, one frame links. You get the idea. See, personally, what I care about is how dope a combo looks. Are they fun? Is the skill appreciated? And when I say that, I mean in terms of, yes, newer folks can get into the game and do a little some. But when you get good, you start pulling off some wacky stuff. And like in the graphics department, I think SNK got this covered as well with City of the Wolves. In fact, I'll go one step further and say between the two, I prefer Fatal Fury's mechanics over Street Fighter 6. Yes, they both have similarities with the rev blows and drive impacts along with the burnouts and overheat. But the difference is with Street Fighter 6, when you're burnt out, you're kind of left defenseless. Of course you can block, but then there's chip, and then there's possibility of doing supers, but I don't think you're about to just throw out a super willy-nilly. And it also doesn't recover your meter, so there's that. Not to mention if you block a drive impact and bounce against the wall, you're stunned. However, I will be fair and say that you can affect the recovery speed of the burnout with attacking, walking forward, backwards, jumping, and then just the passive effect of standing still. But with Fatal Fury, every character has a rev blow on both the ground and air, and they're only available when your SPG is activated, which is that little yellow section that you can move in the beginning, middle, or lower end of your health bar. So once that portion is gone, you no longer have access to ref blows, so you don't have to worry about your opponent just throwing it out. Then along with overheat, you still have the typical ways of cooling down with being aggressive, walking forward, backwards, attacking, but also doing supers will cut down the overheat, along with doing a hitting gear super, which will completely remove the penalty. Not to mention you can still defend yourself with just defense and hyper defense, so you're not completely locked out of the system. Couple that with the RevArt system letting you cancel EX moves into an EX move, into an EX move, and more EX moves, and end it with a super. Yeah, nah, I think we're fine with regards to gameplay with City of the Wolves. It's looking pretty fire. This section is pretty interesting. With Street Fighter, we have World Tour mode and you run missions for characters of the main roster, create your own character and go place to place performing tasks while the game is subtly teaching you inputs, which is dope. With City of the Wolves, from what we know, there's an arcade mode, but then there's also the new mode called Episodes of Southtown, or EOST for short, which seems to be an RPG mode where you gain XP and rewards along with building a diverse kit of skills. This will be very interesting to see how this unfolds with developing the story, especially with the notion that maybe throughout the game's lifespan, new episodes will be added. Finally, we have the marketing portion, and I saved this for last because originally when I was writing this script, SNK hadn't done anything too insane with their marketing. Not to say they haven't been doing a great job from it, they've done an amazing job, but with the recent events of freaking Ronaldo tweeting out about Fatal Fury and him being involved in some kind of way, and Kenny Omega possibly having some ties as well, yeah, it definitely kicked things up a notch from when I originally wrote this script, which is great. Capcom has had collaboration and events tied to Street Fighter 6, of Spy Family, Baki, TMNT, and I'm sure plenty more in the future. So it's awesome to see SNK getting a head start on doing something like that before the game is even out. Personally, I'm hoping in the future they do an anime collab of their own. What exactly that would be, I have no clue, but I'll let you all in the comment section go on about what you would want to see. But regardless, whatever helps spread the word and reach of SNK is good in my eyes. That Ronaldo spectacle alone garnered a ton more eyes than ever before. I know I've said a lot during the comparisons between the two with graphics, online, story mode, and whatnot, but the whole point and theme of this video is just to say that I want this game to succeed. We all do. And if there was ever a game to take notes from, it's definitely Street Fighter 6. and it ain't nothing wrong with that. But as always, we reached that part of the video where I ask, what are your thoughts? Are there some things from Street Fighter 6 you want to see in Fatal Fury? Are you looking forward to the game coming in April? Are there any video topics you want me to do? Comment down below and I'll try to respond. As always, I'm DecepySwag. Later.